Behaviorism and the unconscious. Behaviorism is a school of thought in psychology that focuses on observable behaviors rather than internal mental states. In the early 20th century, behaviorism became one of the most dominant perspectives in psychology, largely because it provided a clear, measurable approach to studying human behavior. The idea behind behaviorism is simple: all behaviors are learned through interaction with the environment, and these behaviors can be shaped, modified, and controlled through reinforcement and punishment. One of the major figures in behaviorism is John B. Watson, who argued that psychology should focus solely on observable behaviors and not on what goes on inside the mind. Watson believed that behaviors are not influenced by unconscious processes but are simply responses to stimuli in the environment. This was a major departure from earlier psychological theories that focused heavily on the unconscious, such as those proposed by Sigmund Freud. Freud's theory emphasized the idea that our behaviors are largely driven by unconscious desires, memories, and conflicts. According to Freud, much of what we do is motivated by parts of the mind we are not even aware of. In contrast, behaviorists like Watson and later B.F. Skinner believed that all behavior is learned through conditioning and that the unconscious mind is not necessary to explain behavior. There are two main types of conditioning that behaviorists study: classical conditioning and operant conditioning. Classical conditioning was first demonstrated by Ivan Pavlov, a Russian physiologist. Pavlov found that dogs could be trained to associate the sound of a bell with food. Over time, the dogs would salivate when they heard the bell, even if no food was presented. This process, where a neutral stimulus becomes associated with a response, is at the core of classical conditioning. Operant conditioning, championed by B.F. Skinner, is based on the idea that behavior can be shaped by rewards and punishments. If a behavior is followed by a reward, it is more likely to be repeated in the future. If a behavior is followed by a punishment, it is less likely to occur. Skinner conducted many experiments on animals, particularly rats and pigeons, to demonstrate how behavior could be controlled through reinforcement. He developed the idea of the Skinner box, where animals